Hi, I'm Kelly. Today is July 6, 2025. My weight is 241.2, which means I'm down 2.4 pounds for the week, and I'm down a total of 69.8 pounds since I first started losing weight. I'm still not halfway to my goal, so I've got a long ways to go. But almost 70 pounds is a pretty good start. Now, 60 of those pounds I lost using a whole food, low carb diet. And then I switched to whole food, low fat, mostly plants diet. And I thought I'd talk a little bit more about why. I don't want to tell anybody they're wrong for following a low carb diet. If it works for you, great. And it did work for me for a while. Until I hit 250, and then I went into a stall, and I still don't know why. It might have been because I was eating too much cheese. And here comes a cat. Come on, cat. Move out. It might have been because I was eating too much cheese. But even when I cut that back, it's still, the stall continued for almost 4 months. And every other time in my life where I've been on a diet, when I hit a stall that lasted that long, I just throw up my hands and give up and go back to eating sad. And I didn't this time. Instead, I finally decided, let's just try something new. And so as I said, I'm doing a whole food, low fat, mostly plants, but not completely. I'm not a vegan, and I doubt I'll ever be one. But I have cut way back on the amount of meat and seafood I eat. And I've cut the dairy out completely because I only like the taste of dairy products when they're full fat, which kind of defeats the purpose if you're on a low fat diet. And I also avoid oils. Once again, because of the fat and the calories. It's been going well. I've been, the low fat version of my diet has been since about the 25th, 26th of May. So, I've lost about 8 pounds since then. So it's been going very well. And the weight stall is broken. I don't, like I said, I don't want to discourage anyone from doing the low carb if it is working for you. My main thing is, if something that you've been doing stops working, and I don't mean for like a month, I'm talking several months, then don't give up. Try something else. Maybe it'll work better. And I don't know, maybe the low fat won't work for that long either. But, the low carb worked about a year. So, another year I may be, if not close to my end goal, be pretty close. So, it wouldn't be the worst thing. It's a work in progress for everybody. And don't stop tinkering around until you find what works for you. It doesn't matter what the experts say. It doesn't matter what the influencers say. It matters what works for you, what makes you feel good. And I have to admit, I feel better on a low-fat diet. I have a little bit, not a whole lot, but a little bit more energy, which I haven't had in years. I've had trouble with low energy since I had thyroid cancer when I was 42, and they yanked my thyroid out. My energy levels never really came back after that. Not that I was ever a, hyperactive person. And I was hoping when I first went on a diet last February that maybe losing weight would help. I never felt any increase in my energy under low carb. But at times, with this low fat, I do, which surprised me very much because it's been a long time. And I'm just glad to see some of it come back. So, I think the key for me to being able to stick on a diet of any kind for so long has been cutting out the ultra-processed food as much as possible, especially the diet sodas. I've never cut out I never stopped drinking diet soda before, and I think that has a lot to do with why I'm not so hungry and why I'm not so hungry for junk food. That's what saved me more than anything. So if I decide this low-fat thing I'm doing right now doesn't work for me later on, try something different, whatever I do will still be avoiding the ultra-processed as much as possible, because that's what works for me. And I know a lot of people out there, ultra-processed isn't that big deal, just do it in moderation. Well, that's the problem. I can't do it in moderation. I either cut it out of my life as much as possible, or it runs my life. So, keep on keeping on, everybody. I'll check in again next Sunday, if not sooner. Bye.